Pre-story, spoiler alert. This is a little Loki show, but after Loki, so again, the first video I showed y'all about like the variants, and the variants are basically like the divergent creators are the people who go off of the timeline. You know what I'm saying? And when you go off of the timeline, you create a dimensional rift. You know, and again, reference the other video I did on Loki if you're unfamiliar with the explanation that was shown in the cartoon. But basically, the TVA or the like timekeeper company come to find out that they was lying to all the workers, and that all the workers were actually variants that were turned into workers. So they were people who were divergent themselves in that sense, and not, again, variant or divergent is neither good or bad, but it, you know, was turned into something bad from their perspective. But it's like and seeing and being open minded, I mean, shit, either side could be harmful depending on, you know, what extreme it's taken to, you know. But again, after the Lokis, you know, the female version of himself and, you know, the male version of himself, they find out that, you know, there's this void at the quote unquote end of time, you know, like where, and there's a void at the end of time where it's like a thing of like not knowing what's next, you know what I'm saying? Kind of mimicking, or, you know, not say mimicking, but it's reflective of what's going on right now in the physical aspect, you know, physical, whatever we want to say. But Loki, so both versions of Loki, you know, they got past they had to, within the void, they had this monster, this storm monster, and this reminded me of the show, what it was called, Saving Dion, with the little brethren who had the superpowers, the little black boy. He was like a little kid, like 10 years old, and he had like some superpowers. It was on Netflix, if I'm not mistaken. And somebody told me on Stranger Things, this little being was on there too, but it's like a lightning monster in essence. It was like a monster that walked through the clouds. And, you know, but there's some correlation there, you know, because again, this type of quote unquote monster or whatever was in the void. He was in the void dimension on this show. But long story short, I always said long story short, and then gonna make the story long. Within the void, in order to get out, they had to get past this monster, again, that was like a storm, but it was basically a monster that would prevent any and everything from leaving the void. Hence, like, again, when you get sent to the void, you was like in essence stuck there, and it was like, again, just a place that was just frozen in time, like no night and day, nothing moving. It was just like forever and ever in that space. And they found a way to defeat that monster and open up the portal to get to the, you know, basically to get past that void and get to the quote unquote end of time at the end of the void, you know. And once they got there, they got into this palace, you know, and oh man, hold on, if I gotta edit it I will, or I'll do another video and put it in there. But they get to the end of the palace, and or should I say get to that void spot, and they get to this big black palace, you know, that's kind of like by itself, almost like in the, kind of has like a stormy vibe to it, but also it's like a dark but rainbowish purple. You know, it's funny because it's like, even though it has like the dark colors, also like with a lot of purples and blues and stuff like that too. But here's the little story he running too, that align with a lot of stuff.
Eons ago, before the TVA, a variant of myself lived on Earth in the 31st century. He was a scientist, and he discovered that there were universes stacked on top of his own. At the same time, other versions of us were learning the same thing. Naturally, they made contact, and for a while, there was peace. Narcissistic, self respiratory peaks. I love you, Steve. Oh man, nice nose, thanks man. They share technology, knowledge, using the best of their universities to improve the others. However, not every version of me was so pure heart.
And it all goes back to integrity of our inner being, you know, and again, our multi-dimensional self. Again, been talking about this, and now it's like undeniable. And I'm grateful to see that, you know, like again, you get all these little insights and stuff like that and realize, you know, you're not going crazy and stuff like that. Of course, you know you're not, but it definitely helps because sometimes you may be speaking on things that, you know, may be, not say way before time in that sense, but you get what I'm saying. And that's where the trust just come in at just trusting, like, man, I know that even though I don't see this shit yet, you know, this is what's popping off and this is why it's coming to me on this level. And things are only, you know, in essence, speeding up right now, you know, so keeping up with that. But laughing at also the part where it's like, you know, when he first met the, you know, one of the aspects of himself from another dimension, how they had like a little narcissistic friendship, little narcissistic piece. He said, you know, like, hey, nice nose, nice this, you know what I'm saying? Like, but again, as he said, he is like, but all, you know, looking at the different dimensions of himself, all aspects wasn't so pure of heart, you know, and again, like that's what we dealing with the integrity of our inner being, you know, is like, you know, getting all aspects of our being to be pure of heart, you know. I talk about, I done talked about past life as a wizard, or certain past lives, you know, whether, you know, you see yourself doing things beautifully or horrible, you know what I'm saying, but understanding that all those aspects of self exist right now, you know, because in essence, that's what, quote unquote, the disorders like schizophrenia and all these different things, you know, it's in essence like our different dimensions of ourselves, you know, looking to be expressed or looking to be heard. And if we're not aware of how to integrate those aspects through acceptance, you know, acceptance with a lot without, you know, acceptance and a discernment. You know, like you accept certain parts of yourself, but you have discernment when dealing with certain aspects of yourself. I accept the part of me that used to drink 40s, the dimension that the universal that used to pop Xanax and drink 40s. I accept that part of me, and at the same time, I have discernment to know that that part of me is not meant to be expressed right now, you know. But I'm not looking at it as bad. I'm not labeling it as bad. I'm not looking at it as if, you know, it's something horrible or things of that nature. And again, that goes to show us, you know, again, like the integrity in the story of, like, you know, source, or like how it's like the, you know, good versus evil, you know, that's created with a dual mind, you know, like, and that's basically what everything is just showing, is like that dual mind, like to see stuff is good or bad. You know, it's like the devil is neither good nor bad. God is neither good nor bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, angels are neither good nor bad. Demons are neither good nor bad. Either both sides could be perceived as, you know, bad, just depending on, you know, your perception or how you're looking at it. And both sides could be perceived as good, depending on your perception and how you look at it. You know, water could be perceived as good. You know, oh, agua, give thanks for water, 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 water. But then if a person drown, you know, would you have like that same high regard and notion of expression for water right after your mama drowned? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and again, but that doesn't make the water bad because your mama drowned in it. You know what I'm saying? So, just getting the perspectives, but yeah.
New worlds meant only one thing: new lands to be conquered, to piece between realities erupted into all-out war. Each variant fighting to preserve their universe and annihilate the others. It was almost the end, ladies and gentlemen, of everything and everyone.
And then the timekeepers came along and saved us.
No.
That as I would give, but again, just pointing to integrity and bringing up the movie Split. You know, again, the movie Split was kind of speaking to this. You know, if all aspects of the self is not being heard, then whatever part that we treat like a monster, it manifests into a monster. You know, so, you know, dealing with, you know, ancient creation stories and stuff like that, of like how we got here and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? All these little, you know, downloads and insights, you know, in connection with certain, you know, ancient literature. But again, with everything, whether it's ancient literature or not, you know, we gotta read that and deal with that with discernment, you know, like, you know, have to feel it in our heart and just feel like, all right, I could feel that this insight, you know, is real. And again, you'll feel like, all right, I may have like a little twist to it. And if it is tough for you to, you know, again, just feel it out in that sense, that's where, you know, the studying or referencing come in, where you see across the board that no matter if it's a person in Asia telling this story, a person in America telling this story, a person in Africa telling this story, a person wherever telling this story, you know, it's like when you see all the certain points that match in all the different stories, and it's like, all right, you know, either, you know, one or two options, either that's, you know, the things that line up to be true, because, you know, again, like with all these people all over the world, all these things still kind of come up when they speak, you know, like, again, no matter who you hear talking with spirituality, being present and being in a moment, you hear a lot of people bring up. And then the evidence of that is when you be in the moment, you do see how you're liberated. So it is a factual, proven, you know, aspect of it, you know, but again, and in that other video that's explaining, you know, this basically like the pre-story, or like this is the deeper story to the story in the other little video I posted in the earlier episodes, where they were showing the little cartoon with the divergence and how it started a multiverse war. So in order to prevent the multiverse war, they created, you know, the TBA or whatever, I forgot the TBA, but the Timekeeper or TCA, whatever, TK, I don't know, the Timekeeper little police or whatever, to, you know, police variants and stop variants, you know, from creating multiple timelines. But again, it's also a question of, you know, destiny and free will, you know, like, you know, because destiny could be seen as a euphemism for being controlled by another being, you know what I'm saying? Also, and that's just honoring the honesty of it, you know. It's like not to fearmonger ourselves about it or none of that, you know. We got to be able to question certain things without, you know, I don't know, without it being like so much of a taboo or so much of, you know, like, because that's how I feel. I feel like that's from the skillet to the frying pan. Like, if I still can't question reality fully, then shit, I might as well go back to church, you know what I'm saying? So it's funny because it's like, you know, dealing with metaphysics and stuff like that, you know, if everybody's still not just questioning more and more, then it's like everybody done went to the skillet to the frying pan and still got like a glass ceiling on, you know, what's being spoken of, you know. And again, but that's not the truth in essence, because again, you know, I done did a lot of videos just questioning the law of correspondence. You know, shout out to the Brethren True Life Stories channel for just questioning like psychedelic experiences and an experience within this realm. While we do draw in information about, from the Emerald Tablets, or should I say from, the Book of the Dead, or, from, Mayan civilization, Kemetic civilization, from ancient, Kush, or the Angkor Wat civilization, or ancient Atlantis and Lemuria, and at the same time, like, again, being adaptable, because information can shift. We could find out that, a lot of this stuff wasn't, what was really up, and what if we've just been, preparing ourselves to become sturdy to accept the truth that may not, feel so sturdy, in essence. And it's just a process of us gradually being open to this insight in order to not, create panic, in essence.
That first variant encountered a creature created from all the tears in reality, capable of consuming time and space itself. A creature you both know.
Goliath.
Bingo.
I harnessed the beast's power and began.
All right, that's the little lightning cloud thing I was talking about that was eating things in the void, or preventing things from leaving the void.
Goliath. And I ended the multiversal war. Once I isolated our timeline, all I have to do is manage the flow of time and prevent any further branches. Hence, the TVA. Hence, the timekeepers in a highly efficient bureaucracy. Hence, ages